will say, so far it's very he said, she said. No concrete evidence has been posted so far. And I will say, tags in the name aren't the most reliable proof, and it's the only proof we have so far. So we gotta see what else came out. As you can see, this was a huge mess. Sorry if the video is a bit confusing. I was a bit confused during it as well. The situation started with this tweet from Floki that says, "What the fuck is happening with Lucky EN TMT? Multiple talents have suddenly removed their Lucky EN tags. People are dropping like flies. Even a brand new talent has dropped the tag. What happened to cause it to implode on itself?" And Lucky EN, from what I could grasp, was an agency, a VTuber agency. And then Floki retweets it and says, "Going through their roster per the card, which is pretty up to date, I confirm 9 talents have removed their lucky tags, almost half of their talents. Literally no word on why at this point, as the group implodes." And here's the screenshot with several talents. So as you can see, Care here, it no longer has the tag. Please cut out this. Well, I'm surprised I'm mentioning someone I know, like that I've VC'd with. Anyway, Royan here, and then no longer having a lucky yen tag. Kratos's, and again no longer having a lucky yen tag. This is sad because I actually like many of the talents of the group, so it makes me wonder what happened. Some of them were brand new to the group even, and more VTubers without the lucky tag. Having always assumed they operated closer to something like Mythic, either my assumption was wrong, or something horribly wrong happened. Only 2 have made any sort of statement, but details have not been released at this time. I'll update if more info comes. And here, no lucky tag, no lucky tag. Number 10 has hit the tower, and no lucky tag. Update of this list, Kratos's and Juni have made statements. They are not leaving. Akuma, Shiro, and Saturn have openly resigned. Brilliant confirmed not leaving. Anchan confirmed not leaving the org. If you are part of a group, say you didn't say you were leaving, the logical thought is you're staying with the group. BPD crashed out in my DMs, or blocking me and talking shit doesn't change this. Sorry you went on a rager in my DM, but are just functionally wrong on companies. And that's just a screenshot of Anchan crashing out, it seems. And just a reaction, for example, Grit, I don't know how to pronounce that, says, "Just learning who quote-unquote ran this quote-unquote company, and all I will say is, the warning signs were always there. The dawn of everything." Says, "I got messages all day now. There's a story about Lucky Ian. The talents wish for nothing to be public and for them to leave on a good note. I will not be answering anyone's question about this topic, but please show love to each talent. They each are amazing VTubers I call friends." And the dawn of everything quote retweets deleted tweet and says, "Starcat asked me originally about the current drama dragging herself in it. I must state the truth. I should have been more considerate of her mental and physical abilities. Let the record show I do care for Starcat a lot as a friend. Reading this makes me realize that." And continues. The Dawn has gotten many messages now about people leaving Lucky EN. It began in the last week of November 2025, when several moderators, significant others of the talents who had stayed quiet, asked the Dawn of everything to investigate the management of the group. Then simply the Dawn brought multiple talents brought into the loop, which lead to each talent telling another talent, and then this began as, "Hey, did this ever happen to you?" quickly turned into a flood of shared screenshots and testimonies that matched almost perfectly. The same sexual jokes, the same degrading language, it all had the same pattern. Piece by piece, the full picture came together. This wasn't isolated bad days or misunderstandings. It was repeated. A manager treated everyone very unprofessionally, and nearly the entire group agreed. Once everyone saw how identically they had all been treated, the trust that had kept the group faltered. Within days, private channels turned into exit plans with mutual support from everyone. The illusion that Lucky Ian was a real agency with everyone's best interests are hard shattered completely after each screenshot and testimony. The Dawn states here that this was the timeline of Lucky Ian's great departure, as it happened effectively, not with a public announcement or dramatic blow-up. Note, unless lies are spread, the Dawn of Everything will not be sharing anything further on this topic, due to the request of multiple talents involved. Thank you, the Dawn. Which is definitely not a good look. And Mizu Tamari says, "Lol, I guess I'm gonna have to speak on it now since they're all vague posting. So a guy called the Don and a few people he was personally close with joined Lucky very recently with the expressed intent to stir up trouble, and he managed to convince a bunch of people they were in active danger or being abused. What they did was slowly add people to a separate server, one by one, and dogpile each person as a group into accepting a specific narrative. I was poked multiple times from different angles and different people to try and get me on board with it. People who refused to accept they were being abused were screamed at for hours. If they still refused to accept his view, they were removed from the group that most of the talents had been added to. By the time I was removed from the group, almost every talent had started to request their story be removed from the doc because they were starting to see the cracks in the unified story they wanted to tell. I just asked a few pointed questions, and it became obvious to everyone that the point was not to solve problems or address grievances. The call-out itself was the goal. I want to believe the people who came with him were just manipulated into it, but it seems it was also their intention from the start. It really sucks because I personally stuck my neck out for them, so a lot of this really falls on me. Is Lucky perfect? Nah. Rage is a bit of a spad and not the most professional person, but it was never advertised as some huge professional group. It's a ragtag group of castaways just trying to build themselves up from nothing. And Flocky asks, how does this explain longer term, very recently members leaving? And Mizu Tamai says, you mean the members that have told you they haven't left and you're making assumptions? And attaches a screenshot of Kratos saying they never left and they never had the tag in their name to begin with. I will say, so far it's very he said, she said. No concrete evidence has been posted so far. And I will say, tags in the name aren't the most reliable proof, and it's the only proof we have so far. So we gotta see what else came out, because there is more to this. Saturn Sanchez says, this is entirely inaccurate. We have receipts for all of this. It isn't drama for no reason. This is disingenuous at best and lying at worst. We joined because we wanted to be part of a community. We thought we would be treated fairly and ethically. It was not the case, and we can easily prove it. And continues, there are specific problems with Lumi, including disrespectful behavior, inappropriate comments, and posting my dog's information to their server, and attaches screenshots. Oh, okay, so this is supposed to show disrespectful behavior. Starcat retweets the done of everything and says, he wouldn't let me say no when you dressed. Then he threatened to go to others. Both sides can have their war, just need sleep. It's not my fight. After days of stress and backroom calls with dozens of people that could have both sides talk it out as a group, they can have their war and drama content. I need rest. This is not what I came to this space for. And post a screenshot of the Dawn and Starcat talking. Hey, if you've made this far into the video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Thank you for your time. Now let's get back into the video. The Dawn of Everything then retweets it and says, this is true, her screenshot is real, but so is this one. I wasn't lying. Star asked me about him because she also had this bad feeling about him. Star, please, I care for you, just relax. If you read more messages of me and Star, you would realize how much I care for her. And a meme. And Starcat asking about their opinion. The Dawn of Everything continues. Star woke up 6 roughly hours before the screenshot. Yet she said she was up 30 hours and could not sleep. Again, I want to preface, I don't hate Star at all and I want to continue being friends with her. I care for her a lot. And more screenshots. So far, I don't really think this is the point. I think we're getting a lot of proof for things that are not the point. Where's the proof for the alleged bad managing of the agency? That's the thing that's bugging me. Like, that doesn't seem to be the point. Why are you fighting between each other when it's such a he said, she said? I want to have proof, and I'm not seeing proof. 9 says, multiple people came forward to Dawn hopes for him to help them. I don't know what happened for the 180 from some of the people who actually started this entire conversation. I genuinely do not believe that Dawn is using this to drama form or whatever others are trying to say. He was genuinely trying to help a group of people who felt lost and weren't sure what to do in the situation they were in. The Dawn of Everything, I'm watching people say things about him that just straight up are not true, and it's real disheartening. If he is so horrible, why did you seek him out in the first place? Why did you come into the server and dump pages of screenshots and testimonials to to him, spend hours in VC with him. Why even ask him for help at all? No one made you do that. But now it's all somehow the Don's fault. And Don tweeted something else. And Don tweeted again saying, on Akuma Miku VT statement, I never used nor do I have Vancord or was I ever in the server. I had an informant tell me as I was paying repeatedly while I was sleeping at the time. Yes, I want to tell others as everyone was worried over this call as they did not tell anyone about it. And the screenshot reads, I was put in a position where I wanted to warn my friends, other members of the agency, and in the last 3 days I've been in and out of Discord calls. My intention when speaking with other Lucky members was not to say them to leave mainly as a hey, so this is happening, warning. The crux of my decision lies with how Raging Bull was managing the company and other unprofessional things. Other members had issues with other members, and greater issues with staff, some that were exact to what I had dealt with. During when I was brought into another call to hear about the company direction, Don immediately went after Star, who was using Vancord to see if she was in a private call and threatened to tell others. Okay, so this is a Akuma Miku statement, and Don says it was all lies. Again, I don't know why we're going on this tangent. I don't know why people are so obsessed with this tangent. Can we talk about the allegations? And the statement I was reading continues. Neither of us were being manipulated. I had no plans to go back to Lucky, and I had written out an entire statement to read and call reflecting and regarding how this stumbled onto me, and my overreaction warning the others. Reading what I wrote wasn't easy, and I was a fucking wreck. I couldn't make it out of it without crying. And the Don says, if this was told to us privately, none of this would have happened. Everyone I was with, after getting up, thought that we were being betrayed. Miku should never been put in a position where it drove her to cry. And then it says, super interesting how everyone's somehow liars and overly dramatic, but here you can see new management has taken over. Really makes you think, Limao. And that's in a screenshot saying that Raging Bull will no longer be involved in management and that it's going through a restructuring of internal things. Nevin says, slap you, girl, you'd kill to be even half of me. How is this related? And Nevin says, attach a screenshot of Starcat saying she would slap them and says, slap you? Girl, you'd even kill to be even half of me. And the funniest part, you ask why I roast you on Twitter while you sit in DMs trash talking me with people who already hate me so long to thinking you were different. Just like the other two-faced girl who talks shit for validation. And Nevin continues, she cherry-picked everything to make me look like the bad guy and score points with the Lucky EN manager. She literally agreed with me, then stabbed me in the back. All I said was that I don't want to talk about private stuff in a public server, and she twisted it into I don't want to talk to my viewers. And Saturn says the truth about Lucky EN, Raging Bull, and their defenders. And it's a huge doc, so we will stick with the intro and the summary, if that's okay. Because it's a really big doc, and this video would end up being huge. And then an explanation. This document exposes systemic issues with Lucky EN, an unregistered VTuber agency led by Raging Bull, also known as Rage or Raging Bull, based on testimonies from affected talents and collaborators. It's divided into two main sections. The first section details Raging Bull's problematic behavior, including overly controlling management, breaches of confidentiality, insensitive to mental health and boundaries, lack of professionalism, hypocrisy in rule enforcement, and erosion of trust through selective treatment and inappropriate sexual jokes. Supported by screenshots, recordings, and accounts from talents like Dolly, Saturn Senshi, Shiro One, it rebuts Raging Bull's offensive statement and highlights patterns of manipulation and harm. The second section examines the defenders or blame shifters, former Lucky EN members like Starcat, Moma Oko, Mizutamari, Juni, Akuma Miku, Atari, who initially sought help to exit the group via a private testimony server, but brutally reversed course after a suspicious voice call with Raging Bull. It documents their subsequent attacks, lies, and hostility towards facilitators like the Don't Have Everything, Saturn, Shiro, and Nines, using screenshots and timelines to refute claims of threats, overwork, or ulterior motives, revealing a coordinated effort to deflect blame and silence victims. The original purpose of this document was to expose Lucky Ian as a non-legitimate business and highlight its aggressive and manipulative practices, at the request of several Lucky Ian members. However, following subsequent events, including bad faith attacks, deliberate misinterpretations, and false accusations against individuals who were assisting members in safely exiting the group, the document intent has been expanded to also address and rebuke those distortions. And the summary is: each of those points have supporting evidence and screenshots through the testimonies of this document. And I'm not showing it here, but this document has a lot of screenshots, so if they say there's proof, I guess there might as well be, because there's a lot of screenshots in it. We're just quickly going through the summary. Over controlling and invasive management style. Demands immediate admin/moderator rights in every server he joins. Insists on private calls while barring talents on moderators/friends, then vents about those talents in other servers. Scolds talents in a condescending parental tone. Shows up uninvited on streams and pushes his way into conversations or groups he wasn't invited to. Makes persistent, uncomfortable jokes about talent's personal lives, even after being told to stop. Repeated breaches of confidentiality and gossip. Disclosed sensitive information about a well-known talent to Saturn, Mocha, and others long before they even knew this VTuber personally. He allowed or outright failed to moderate, doxing in the Under the Tea server run by Mizu Tamari, Mama Oko, and Lumi, Luminous Cove/Lum, where he himself was a moderator and acting a representative of Lucky Ian in that server. Nachi Izumiku's real name and face were posted, as well as Nine's former adult performer name. These posts remained unaddressed as of November 21, 2025, despite his public claim having a strict no doxing rule. He was actively present and messaging during these conversations, making it clear he was aware of what happened and chose not to intervene. Insensitive to mental health and personal boundaries. Pressures talents into content or schedules they're uncomfortable with. Pushes talents to disclose deeply personal trauma or mental health issues, only to minimize, lecture, or use it against them later. Disregards talents' real-life responsibilities, commitments, and personal limits. Mocks or dismisses trauma response as self-sabotage, and even jokes that abandoning someone wouldn't make business sense. Lack of professionalism, contracts, and fair compensation. Run an unofficial, unregistered agency with no contracts and no IP protection. Offers exploitative merge/figurine splits while downplaying risks. Talks negatively behind the backs of talents he failed to recruit, like Nevin that we saw before being shit-talked by Darkcat, I think. Hypocrisy and selective enforcement. Lecture talents to not to steer the pot while he gossips and leaks info, but allows certain talents to say whatever they want. Reiterated no doxing rules in the Under the Sea server, but does nothing when they're broken. General erosion of trust. Talents who don't fit his ideal schedule or who assert independency are quickly sidelined, last added to promos, excluded from orgs, or straight up ignored until they no longer need him, at which point help is suddenly offered. Multiple members have stayed outright, Lucky Ian just doesn't really serve me at all, I don't benefit. And as I mentioned, there's a lot of screenshots in this doc. This is supposed to be a quicker video, so I'm skipping the screenshots a bit and sticking to the summary, but there's a lot one can go through, so if you want to, feel free to go ahead and look at the screenshots. Nevin says the truth is out, and quote retweets the doc. The Dark Enjoyer made a quick summary of the doc as well, and says, essentially an unlicensed VTuber agency run by a guy named Raging Bull. Raging Bull is a Muslim LARPer who claims to be the CEO but has no licensing, no contracts, and no business license. Entire operation is trust me bro handshake deals. The manager from hell. Raging Bull demands 5% of gross income from talent. Offers zero support, knows nothing about Twitch, constantly drunk in DMs, tries to make figurine merch deal, tells talents he has to do all the modeling, pay for production, shipping, and handle taxes. Raging Bull still wants 10% cut just for existing. Raging Bull is uncontrollably horny, sexually harasses talent Dolly Relentless, sends unwanted NSFW gifts, talks about bondage, Isnusnu, and breaking her. Tells talent Saturn he will crash her wedding wearing body armor and a mask. Calls this 2000s humor and banter. Leaks private medical info and relationship drama of talents to other members. Threatens suicide when called out. The exodus begins. Talents realize this ship is sinking and the captain is a creep. The Dawn of Everything steps in to help investigate and organize a safe exit. Talents join a private testimony server, everyone dumping receipts of Raging Bull being a scumbag. Plan is to leave in mass and expose him if he tries anything. The betrayal. Starcat, Miko, and Juni suddenly go quiet. TR phone a private voice call with Raging Bull do not join. Don't ask what the fuck is going on since they were just trashing Raging Bull yesterday. Don says, tell us what's happening and I'm telling the other girls you've talking to Raging Bull. Starcat and Miku scream abuse and threats. They nuked your message in the testimony server. Kick Don and the other victims. It flip sides immediately. The fallout slash the defenders. Lucky EN implodes. Group A leave, stay with Dom, release the receipts proving Raging Bull is a predator and a scammer. Group B claims they are leaving amicably. Group B starts massive smear campaign against Dong and Group A. Miko goes from Raging Bull sexually harassed me to Dong is a predator for asking questions in 24 hours. Starcat claims he was threatened by Dong. He just asked for transparency. Oko makes a video blaming the victims for burning it down. Turns out Oko's own Discord server was hosting doxing info on Group A talents while he preached about morals. The conclusion. Raging Bull releases a statement. Yeah, I wasn't professional, I flirted, I didn't make an LLC because it's hard. Essentially admits to everything while trying to sound like a victim. Group B is currently blocking everyone and pretending they didn't just backstab their friends to defend a guy they admitted was a harasser. MFW unpaid internet janitors caused a civil war over a fake company run by a drunk LARPer. And to close it out, there was a statement on Lucky EN's Twitter that says, there will be updates forthcoming. While certain matters still require our attention, we want to affirm that as a group. We do not condone any form of injustice. Our concerns will be addressed truthfully, appropriately, and in a direct manner. As of 1 week, there's been nothing new. As you can see, this was a huge mess. Sorry if the video is a bit confusing. I was a bit confused during it as well. But I guess we're eventually able to piece everything together and understand the mess that was going on. What do you think? Don't forget to leave a comment. Bye bye!